Am I the asshole for having my neighbor's cars towed from my garage? My house is being built in a neighborhood that's a few years old. My lot is one of the few remaining lots and there are occupied houses surrounding mine. The exterior is basically complete and the contractors are in the process of putting up the drywall. After work the other night, I decided to drive out to inspect the work. Everything looked fine until I decided to check out my garage. When I opened the door, I saw 2 cars and a minivan parked inside my garage. I called the contractor to see if he knew anything about them and he was as perplexed as I was. My guess is that one of the neighbors decided to park their cars inside my garage because there was a slight chance of hail that night. At first I was just going to leave it alone, but the more I thought about it the angrier I got. By the time I got to my car, I was steaming mad. So much so that I called a tow company and had them tow all 3 vehicles away. The next morning my contractor called and told me the police was there to investigate the theft of the vehicles. I had them put the police on the phone and explained that I was the owner of the property, had the vehicles towed, and gave them the tow company information. My contractor told me later that the owners of those vehicles were shouting and cussing them out until the police made them leave. I went by after work and a guy confronted me about being his ass for having their vehicles towed. He was shouting about how I ruined their day because they missed work and their kids were late to school because. He also said it cost almost $1,000 to get all 3 vehicles back and that I'll be covering the cost. I told him good luck with that and that he's the ass for parking in my garage without my permission. We went back and forth until his wife came and pulled him home. Some of the other neighbors came out to watch our argument and afterwards some of them told me I was starting off on the wrong foot and should apologize to that guy. They said that I should be more neighborly and understand that neighbors help each other out. One said that I should have left a note instead of having them towed. It seems all my neighbors are against me. I can see their point, so maybe I overreacted? I'm not sure. Not the asshole. Who the F feels so entitled as to park their vehicles in someone else's garage even if the house isn't yet occupied? Starting off on the wrong foot? That's what the neighbor did by putting his things where they didn't belong. What if your contractor came back in the morning and they were still inside and that's where your contractor had to do work or stage materials? That's potentially money out of his pocket or yours. What if this neighbor damaged something pulling in or out and just left without telling you? I'm certain they wouldn't have let you know or offered to pay to fix it. Not the asshole. The audacity of your neighbor here is unconscionable. He trespassed on your property, then got mad when he had to pay the consequences. And the next time your other neighbors say to forgive him, ask them why they didn't offer their garage to those neighbors. Not the asshole. Sure, all neighbors are nice. Until something happens to their cats, open mouth smile my bad, should say cars, while in your garage, illegally, and you are sued for damages. Exactly how were they able to get into your garage without a door opener? And why could they not use their own garage? How were you to know they were a neighbor's cars? Did they think to leave a note stating so? Squatters are a big thing in the US. I was starting off on the wrong foot and should apologize to that guy. Amazing. You were starting off on the wrong foot? No, you did right. Your neighbor FA and FO. He was the one who parked his cars where they should have. Tow the cars again if they park there. Some people need a lesson like this to fix their entitled overstepping ways. Not the asshole. For all you know there were stolen goods, drugs, guns, whatever in those cars, and if found on your property you could have been liable. I realize this is a stretch, but where are these cars usually parked and why did this guy think your garage was available? Maybe a hailstorm led him to want to shelter them. Fine, but what did they do when there was a prior hailstorm before your garage was built? Not the asshole. They used your property without permission. These are the type of people who would turn around and sue you if something happened to their car on your property. Turn it around on them. Tell them neighbors don't take advantage of each other, and they are supposed to make new people feel welcome, not exploited. Ask them how they would feel if they came to their home and found strangers trying to occupy their space. Because you haven't even been introduced yet, and they decided to use your new home as their own. How in the world is that neighborly? Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for refusing to cancel child support? Throwaway account. I, 34 male, have been taking care of my sister's, 32 female, daughter for around 6 years. This all started when my sister got arrested for felony theft and drug charges. She's been a longtime addict, poor mouther, and family manipulator. No one else in my family stepped up, so I offered to take my niece in while my sister did drug treatment to avoid jail. From the beginning, my niece, then around 10, didn't want anything to do with her mom. I thought that was odd, but over the first few months I had her, my niece opened up about her mom having treated her very poorly. I sought a guardianship for my niece, and told my sister that I would not willingly send my niece back to her unless my sister got off the drugs and sorted her life out. My sister initiated a legal fight with me to terminate the guardianship. I grew to love this kid like my own, and I didn't want to send her back to a bad environment. It cost me 6 figures over the course of a year and a half in legal fees. I won. I managed to marshal substantial evidence of my sister's ongoing substance abuse, and the court relied upon the report of a court-appointed guardian ad litem who reported favorably about my niece in my care and about my niece's negative view of her mother. At some point in the legal process, as I was shelling out 5-figure monthly legal bills, I learned that, as my niece's guardian, I was entitled to child support, so I filed the forms to seek it, and won it. The state oversees the support award, and is apparently pretty thorough in seeking it. Garnishing paychecks and bank accounts. Now years on, I am starting to get pressure from other family to forgive the child support. I have family reaching out to me saying my sister is doing better and just can't get ahead, having to give up portions of her paycheck every month. With back amounts, it's like $30K in back support that I am owed. I don't need it, really, if I'm being honest. I make a good living, better than anyone else in my family has done. In all likelihood, sister's debt, it will never be paid in full. But I don't want to let it go. I've started telling relatives, hey, that's great that you want to help sister, why don't you pay me her $30K debt plus the present value of the award until niece is 18, and then I'll forgive sister's obligation. Relatives have been huffy at that response. My sister initiated a fight with me knowing full well she was back on drugs, and lied about it, and got caught in open court. It was all a waste of a large amount of money, in my prime years, that I would have otherwise saved and set aside to retire on, or pay for my niece's education. I'm still mad about it, and my sister can owe me it forever for all I care. Am I the asshole, eh? Not the asshole. I hope your niece is doing well. The money is for her care. Any relatives with an opinion are free to contribute. Not the asshole. You need to remind your family that the child support your sister is paying is not for you, her brother. It is for her daughter. The fact that you can afford to pay for the daughter's care is irrelevant. That money can go into a college fund if you want. Also, where is the child's father in this picture? He owes child support, too. Kudos to you for stepping up to care for your niece. You have spared her from a lifetime of harm. Not the asshole. If your sister didn't fight the guardianship, which shows she isn't after the child's best interest, you probably would have never requested the child support. Not the asshole. You were looking after your niece because your sister fucked up, which will have cost you money. Your sister then starts a legal battle, despite being on drugs, and costs you even more money. Oh, and finally, the family who didn't want to step up and look after your niece are saying you should let it go. The money isn't for you, it's for your daughter. Don't give up her entitlement to support, even if you save it for her education. Look, you're acting like child support is some kind of tribute I collect for myself. Child support is sister's obligatory contribution to the care of her child because she chose to bring a child into this world. Now I'm sorry that she's such a terrible mother that someone else had to step in to do the actual parenting. I truly am sorry for that fact because it's terrible for niece to have had such awful experiences in her young life. But sister doesn't get to buck her financial responsibility just because she flunked out at childrearing. You're complaining that she can't get ahead financially? Wow, yeah, having kids is expensive. They won't be putting that in the paper anytime soon because it's not news. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my friend she can't wear that to my wedding? So I'm not going to add a photo, obviously, for privacy. My friend is out shopping for an outfit for my wedding. She sent me a picture in a long skirt and bralette. I said, oh, I love the skirt, what shirt would you wear with it? And she said, that is the shirt, it's a bralette. I tried to play it off nicely and say, maybe if it was an outdoor wedding, but it's all inside the hall, you know what I mean? And she said, I guess, and that she was still going to buy it anyway and hopefully finds another shirt. I kindly said it wouldn't be appropriate with the bralette. She's plus size and very well endowed. As an also well endowed girl, I know the struggle, but to me it's just not formal wear and kinda looks trashy. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Lingerie as regular attire to a wedding is not appropriate. Not the asshole, though her being plus size or even having a cup is irrelevant to this question. The problem is the top, or lack of it, not how big her breasts are. I will add that when you have large breasts everything looks more low cut. No matter what you do, blouses look more slutty on women when you have large breasts. Even a turtleneck still looks slutty. So don't hold that against your friend. It's all inside the hall, you know what I mean? Is not being clear. Say what you mean. Super cute but not appropriate for a wedding. Not the asshole. But you need to be really firm and use your words. On no account are you going to wear underwear as an outfit to my wedding. Enough with the kindly, it's clearly not getting through. It's your wedding, not a People of Walmart photo shoot. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She asked for your opinion and you answered her honestly. You know what would be appropriate for your wedding better than her. If she didn't want to know, she shouldn't have asked. Am I the asshole for telling my brother-in-law to do the Thanksgiving turkey? Last year, my mom's family decided that they would be turning this Thanksgiving into a family reunion. She comes from a very large family, and so far 53 people have RSVP'd to come. The dinner itself will be hosted at my mom's house, which is great because one of her brothers lives next door, so there will be 2 kitchens to work with. She asked if I would plan the menu, and I agreed. Planning the menu took a lot of work. There's limited space to cook even with 2 kitchens, there has to be enough food for 53 plus people, and there's a lot of food restrictions. My mom's family is Jewish and everyone keeps varying levels of kosher from only during Passover to never mixing meat and dairy. Half the people coming are also vegetarian, vegan, some due to allergies, 3 people have celiacs, and a few keep keto. Not to mention the variance between picky kids and adults who are looking forward to trying the creative dishes I'm known for. But, I still did it, and last week I posted it in the group. Everyone was pretty nice about it and seemed excited. A few changes were made, like adding a pre-made frozen keto cheesecake, and adding Dino nuggets for a particularly picky kid. The one person who wasn't was my Bill. The only meats that will be there are a ham my uncle volunteered to cook before I was even planning, and some grilled fish. He commented, "Thanksgiving with no turkey?" And a few people responded with laughing emojis. Then he texted me about it. I told him there was limited space to cook, and everyone else seemed happy, so he could get him some Oscar Mayer, or he could cook one himself in the smoker, the only space left. He said he wasn't driving 2 hours to have to cook. I said no turkey then. Then my sister texted me. She told me how upset he was. I told her what I told him. She didn't agree with me, saying I should smoke it myself. I said no, there was a large menu to be cooking without additions. She still didn't agree, but left me alone. Her husband did not. I have received texts every day since. Yesterday I had it. I was not going to be getting these texts for 2 more months, so I added a new post. Congrats turkey lovers. A new menu item has been added. Brother-in-law has volunteered to make a turkey. An hour later my sister called me to tell me how pissed brother-in-law was. I asked if she knew how much he had been texting me. She did not. She still said I should have asked her to make him knock it off instead. Brother-in-law asked me to take down the post and say I lied. I refused. They got my mom involved, who said I should have been more mature. He had really pissed me off by continually messaging me, and I don't think he understood the level of thought into making the menu. But maybe I shouldn't have done what I did. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Is he always so petulant and entitled? They could easily prepare a turkey at home and it would survive the 2-hour trip to the reunion. In any case, him pestering you about it and showing no appreciation for all of the bobbing and weaving you've done to accommodate everyone's dietary preferences and restrictions is what's immature here. If this nonsense continues, you should mention that brother-in-law doesn't need to make a turkey because just by showing up he's bringing it. Not the asshole. Man, I was ready to call you Ta. One of those pet peeves is being voluntold. But nope, not the asshole. This wasn't voluntelling, this was a FAFO. What are your sister and brother-in-law contributing to this event? Surely they would welcome the chance to be helpful? No? Then they can shut up then. Not the asshole. Wait, the uncle is making a ham when lots of people keep kosher. What the fuck? And no other meat is going to be there? What am I reading? Not the asshole. Why doesn't he just bring the damn turkey? Seriously, what an entitled baby he is. Extra info. Are you female? Is this a sexist thing too? Wasn't driving 2 hours just to cook. As a woman, this is the most man thing I've ever heard uttered.